Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. I'm here in Utrecht, Netherlands, and behind me is one of the busiest bike paths here in all of the Netherlands, transporting over 33,000 cyclists a day. This definitely is an interesting place. So right now it's about 3:12, so it's not really rush hour yet, but there's still this many people. So I'm gonna ride around and show you all what it's just like to cycle in one of the world's most bikeable cities. So let's go and ride. So here is the Reddenberg, and it's just people everywhere. As this is the main east-west route through the city, and there's a huge wave of cyclists at every intersection. It's about, as I said, 3:30 p.m. so it's not technically rush hour yet, but even still there's this many people. And I was given this route by a friend who is from here, so I'm excited to use it. It's just a loop around the city, hopefully exploring a lot of the infrastructure here. So yeah, it's just a big wave. I'm just gonna sort of see what happens, ride with the flow, as I like to say, as the next wave of cyclists are coming in, sort of, I think that's eastbound, and we're heading west. And yeah, a lot of people, especially this coming intersection right here. It makes you feel like you're a car because it's so wide, and it is a big thoroughway for bikes, as we're all still going through pretty much as a big pack, a big event ride amount of people, still trying to explore our way, find our way. And then I think coming up to the left here was where I entered in to go to the main bike station parking, or for the central station parking, bike parking. I'll do another video on that, or I'll have another video on that, but it's right here. So there's a lot of people going there towards the station. And yeah, a lot of the group in front of me is just school kids. And I think what you'll see on this ride is just a huge diversity of people that bike here. So it's been 5 days of me riding here in the Netherlands, so I've gotten a lot more used to the laws and just the habits of how people ride, and also how the infrastructure is laid out. But it really varies from city to city in terms of the level of implementation, and sort of like basically how nice it is. And I think I have a good feeling here. It's really going to be a step above the rest. So we'll go and do that. And then for those of you that are wondering why I have a bike computer, is because if you're new to this channel, I ride all sorts of bikes, from e-bikes, Bromptons to road bikes. And yeah, so I sort of take the best from all. And today I am on a Brompton rental, and today's the last day. So that's why I'm not riding this at peak rush hour, because I need to head back to Amsterdam right after this. But even still, this should be a very, very good ride to experience the rush of riding here. So we're making it right here. So signaling out, and that was the busiest bike path. But everywhere is busy here. Even not at the main station parking of 12,000 spots, we can see there's outdoor parking here of still easily hundreds of bikes. And every intersection, there's going to be whole swaths of people waiting. And the amazing thing about riding here really is that everything is basically connected. Like everywhere, there's like similar patterns of intersections. And pretty much, if you know which road which heading you're going, you basically can find a bike route right next to it. So yeah, that's a bit of a crazy way to start a ride. But here, let's just take our time and show you some of the loop that Kelmer introduced to me. So here we are, Utrecht, and there's gonna be cyclists every which way that we go. But I'm most amazed by just the amount of like families that ride, little kids on their bikes, and little kids in cargo bikes. That's a really good sign. Because even in Amsterdam, I didn't see that as much. Just like little kids riding on their own. They were more like pre-teens, sort of things like that. But here it's a little different, because you'll really see it now, because the cycleways here are huge. Like, I just checked this out. Like, it's just so different than even the ones in Amsterdam. Sometimes I don't really understand fully the light system here. Some of them people wait for, some of them people don't. I almost tripped there. But a lot of times if they see that there's no cars, they just go anyway. And then here is, yeah, a lot of a setup I've seen all throughout Europe, but never seen it where the cycleway is this wide. And it's only a designated one way, I think, because there's no striping in the middle. But this is like in America would definitely be a two-way cycle track. I'm pretty certain that the waterfront, Seattle waterfront one that we're building just now is way more narrow than this one. And this one is just going in one direction. But even so, in this configuration, there's still gonna be side traffic coming in from the left and right, and they have the shark teeth on the ground to designate for them to yield to bikes. And yeah, my experience here so far, of course, is that drivers do yield pretty well, but it's very, very interesting. As we approach another intersection here, you always have to look out for some of the traffic right and left. Technically, I have right of way there because I'm coming from the right in that case, but it really depends. I feel like it's just one of those things where I don't know. You can play it, I like to play it safe just because you never know what someone might do. But if it's like clear that I have a lot of right of way, then I just sort of go. It's sort of like that. I don't know how to explain it. It's definitely by feel. But I haven't had any close calls at all yet here in the Netherlands. Still running helmetless the whole time without any issue. So yeah, we can see in the presumably all this stuff to the sides. It looks like residences up top and then maybe businesses on the bottom. This is a really nice setup. And then there's a moped behind me, so I'm not passing yet. And then now I can go. So yeah, definitely audio awareness, spatial awareness is really important to ride around here. It's not immune to just randomly riding. But here we see our first detour, and I've learned now that yellow in basically all the countries I've been in mean detour. So we can follow it and see what happens. And presumably it'll be pretty easy to follow. Because we're just supposed to head straight. So it might just take us around the construction. So now this brings us into a residential block. And yeah, this is, I mean, this is comfortable. This is sort of what we're used to. What we even can see a lot in the States, except here they use this sort of like, it's sort of like brick-like type of road. I wouldn't say it's cobbled or anything, but definitely we're near a school zone. So things will be extra calm and quiet here, which is nice. I like the little yellow red posts, it's really cute, as well as their garbage cans. They're awkwardly short, but then I just learned that they actually have a big underground hole where they actually suck everything up. So it's very different here, because from my understanding, some of the garbage here is like more communal versus like in America, you sort of fend off for your own garbage bins because everyone pays for their own garbage disposal and pickup, at least in the suburbs, if you're not in an apartment. But anyway, back to cycling. We're following this detour and oh, there's a sign. So yeah, it's just gonna bring us right back around. That shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I think the thing I do get is that basically, yeah, the infrastructure in any city can really vary from part to part. Me coming as a newcomer, but the amount of consistency there are in some of these top cities is short of remarkable, I would say, in terms of what I would think could be done. So yeah, we're back here, back on the nice red road. And the interesting thing about this Utrecht is that these are like big roads. I mean, like there's like 2 lanes there, 2 lanes there. There's a lot of space. It's definitely like a suburb type of zoning, even though there's like not high rises, but like there's effectively like these type of like more duplex looking buildings or apartment like buildings. And but even so, they made a very, very bikeable city. And I think we'll see why with all this infrastructure that we're riding on. So this is another interesting one. This is just like, it's not marked as a share road, but I presume this is like a bike and car street, but probably maybe local access for cars, and then bikes can still come the other way. So there's all sorts of these different setups here, but honestly, they all feel extremely safe compared to what I'm used to. I'll say it again, most scooters are the main thing to worry about when riding here. So other than that, you are good to go. So yeah, after just a little bit of riding, it feels completely different. Gas prices here, I actually don't know if that's cheap or not. 74 euros per liter. That's not ridiculous actually, if that's per liter. But yeah. But here we have an interesting big road where both sides, I'm looking over there as well, both sides have two-way cycle track that easily can fit 2 bikes each. So I don't know how they pick the roads such that they have both 2 ways, because most of the time I've just learned the habit of getting on the right side of the road because usually you have a path that goes straight, but sometimes they bless you like this. But okay, and we'll just keep going here. I tried to give that fat bike some room because I knew she was going to blow past me, but it seems like she was struggling with her bike. It's interesting though, on the topic of fat bikes here, I've noticed that definitely the demographic of people that ride them are like very young. Like, I don't know if like 10 to 15 years old, but yeah, it's a very different type of, I mean, it's nice that they can get around, but yeah, I don't know how safe it is overall. But it's an interesting thing. But I mean, here again, like look at how wide this is. This is just sort of bonkers. And there's like one on the other side of the road too. So it's more than, it's like as if every single bike lane we had is in Bellevue was turned into a trail just because they could. But I mean, it's coming at the cost of, you can see like there's a lot of things in the middle to slow traffic down. There's like a lot of trees planted, other things, so they are using a lot of real estate to commit to not as fast moving car traffic, as well as to here to the right. Just missed it, but there's a bunch of bike lockers there that I found pretty cool, ones I haven't seen before. And then yeah, we see here as we enter this residential block, this turns into what should be a one-way cycling type of corridor. But honestly, from my time riding here, everyone just sort of goes what's convenient for them. I'm a bit of a rule follower, so I like it too when there's a clear path here. But yeah, so sometimes if you go in the wrong direction, it's pretty obvious because you don't get any signals or anything. Everywhere else, you always get signals telling you what to do. Here it's also pretty interesting because there's a sign, instead of a do not right, turn right, no turns on right flashing in America, here you have a sign saying the opposite. That's like, if you're making a right turn, be careful. It's let up. It's like, be careful, do not run into bikes going across the cross street. So it's literally, because I think no turn on red is standard here. So I guess when there's potential for conflict, they have a special sign just to raise that. But, yeah. And then there's, from what I learned, there's 2 types of scooters, yellow plates and blue plates. And then yellow plates are the ones that go fast on the road. and the blue plates can hang out here, but I've seen yellow plates hang out here as well. But anyway, we're now on this street. I am really bad at remembering telling the names of streets because they put them on buildings and it's not always clear and obvious where to see them. That's one thing I miss about North America, actually, having street posts just in the middle. But this setup is nice. You'll see it all over. There's even a nice street, I think in Amsterdam, that was like near Vonderpark, called Overtoom. That has a similar setup. And yeah, it's really easy to bike, really wide again. You could go on, and you have like instant access to all these shops. A little different than 2nd Avenue or 4th Avenue that we have in Seattle. It's not as easy, just because maybe it's not as wide and the curb is sort of higher. Here the curb's low and you can just sort of keep going. So yeah, I mean, I'm basically just gonna be singing praises for this whole ride. It's a 6-mile ride, so there's a lot to see, and we'll just keep going. But even still, definitely watching out for pedestrians on both sides here. Also these driveways, people coming in and out. So it is a lot of similar things, except I guess here there's just more space, right? So there's more sort of vantage angles for everyone to see each other and go on. There is notably a lot of yellow signs, so I mean, like any city near city center, there's a lot of construction going on. Bike shop over here. I did notice just riding around earlier, the amount of bike shops in this particular city is a lot higher. So I'm sure most of the bikes are geared towards like commuting and just sort of stable, reliable bikes. But I was introduced to Mantle, so I went and checked that out, and here's like a quick photo of it. It's like basically like a superstore of bikes, and I've never seen a bike store that big for one floor. So that was pretty neat to see as well. But yeah, overall this setup is quite nice, and there's like literally no lights here, so we'll just keep rolling on. Oh. I'll have more video on it later, but probably the most impressive thing about riding here is once you, I mean, the cities are laid out very different, but once you get out of the cities and try to connect to other places, those are the connections are the very surprising ones, the ones that you might have to ride a highway on in America. Here they have sort of dedicated cycleways, and that's probably the best part. But we'll just keep going along here. We're running into a bit more people now, but we're just doing sort of a figure 8 around the city center. And yeah, just taking my friend's recommendation. I'm sure we'll see a lot of cool things here. And then just keep going straight. Yeah, the amount of shops we passed, it's pretty cool. But it doesn't seem like just there, the car didn't exactly wait for pedestrians. It's not really clear to me which type of crossings is supposed to be weighted, or sorry, that they yield. There's some that actually they expect peds and bikes to yield to cars that I've seen, which is also pretty interesting. But it's not always. Most of the times, yeah, I don't know. There's like maybe some of these major thoroughfares where they expect car traffic to go, but it's interesting. So here we are basically going straight, and we're getting close to the Centrum again, one half of the loop, so there's gonna be a lot more people. One cool thing I see here is the walking sign is actually like a family. There's like 2 people there instead of 1. That's a little different. And yeah, we'll hang out here for a bit. Going out to the right, up. And then the only place you expect to find gradient here is basically at any type of bridge or something else. So I guess those are moments that I savor the most. And yeah, nice. So here we're going to be approaching back to Vredenburg. That's super busy bike path. And we're gonna make a left here. Oh wait, I went the wrong way. Never mind, I wasn't supposed to make a left here. I just followed all the people. I wanted to go straight. Well, correct that and go back this way. And I'm signaling right now because basically it's like almost overcrowding this infrastructure. Alright, so we're back on the right way now. And then this is again crossing back over the busiest intersection, but the cool thing that they do is that they definitely, just like what you would do with cars, they time the lights, so they usually don't make it as efficient as possible. So that there was like a double crossing, but that intersection there was definitely super duper busy. So we're going straight here, and then now we're gonna, I think, explore the east side of the city a little bit, and it's all gonna be a little different. So there, luckily the car is really patient, waiting for all the traffic, cycling traffic to go through before turning right. And yeah, it's all a little different because now we look ahead, we see like a different pattern on the road, which is more like, I don't know, it just looks like two roads, honestly, like a big cycling road and a big car road. So we can see what it looks like. But there's like a very slightly raised curb here to the left, and then there is car traffic that wants to get through. But we'll still go straight on here. And then here there's no light, so I'm just looking to make sure there's nobody. Cars and buses, I guess, still can be invasion here with that big honk. And then look at this setup. So we got one big middle lane without any striping in the middle, and these two really wide marked bike lanes. But it is a two-way thoroughfare, so I guess cars can just encroach in the bike lane space if they need it. It looks like, yeah. So this is an interesting setup. So it's I guess even for like the most bikeable cities, it doesn't always mean that you're gonna have a huge separated off-street bike path everywhere, which to me makes, I mean, it makes sense, but it's interesting. Just all the differences that they have for each different placement, as well as there's some speed bumps here, so that will help. I gotta apologize for all the sniffles, by the way, mid-ride. I think once I just start get going, June is sort of my allergy season, so whatever it is, I'll try to resist. But it's finally a nice day here in the Netherlands. My first 3 days of riding were all in pure pouring rain, so it's sort of nice to see something like this. And then I'll be heading to South Europe next. So my videos are all out of order, but I'm heading into Italy, where it's gonna be mega hot. So that'll be an interesting transition for me, as well as transition to this nice off-street bike lane again. So back to this type of familiar setup here, where, yeah, literally, I don't know, maybe 2.5 bike widths, maybe even 3 bike widths of lane, and it's comfortable. People on both sides, either direction, and we're just going on through. And yeah, this is sort of the peak, I think, for a sort of not city-centered area, and just going through, even with all these things. But it's sort of deceiving, to be honest, though, because Europe is so, whatever is dense, and then whatever is sparse is sparse. So like, it feels like you're going a lot further, because I think I rode out to the countryside the other day, and it only took like maybe like 5-10 miles. But then in Seattle, like, I don't know, it just feels sort of similar. Like you're still more or less the same until you get maybe into that like 30-mile range. Then but that's really far in terms of Europe miles. So yeah, it's very interesting how they do that. And I think making the denser cities denser is a good thing. But it looks like we have another detour to deal with. I've learned now that the red circle with the white means no, or don't do. So there's no biking. So it looks like our detour is probably out here to the right. They have bike signals for explicit right turns here, so I guess I'll just wait. Oh, there it goes. Green. So the detour is here to the left. So again, a really nice sign. This time has a number. I don't know what the number means. I know, given my last video, that you guys will definitely tell me what that number means. So I'm gonna signal here, and we're gonna try and make this turn, but there's traffic all over. So I'm gonna zoom by here, and then zoom again. And we made it to the other side. Yeah, so I have to assume the 5 means some type of routing, like those sort of cycle ways or highways that they have. And then we'll keep going here. Okay, so now we're next to a canal and back to one of these streets that you sort of see in Amsterdam, but these ones, this one is just way wider and way more comfortable to ride. Some of the ones that are similar in Amsterdam where they run next to a canal, if you run into an intersection, it can get sort of hairy if it's busy. And then still bikes parked all along the sides. And yeah, back to this type of brick road thing as we're doing this other detour. So, I mean, no city, I guess, is immune from construction. It's just a matter of how much they make the effort to mitigate. But here, like, since there's bike routes like literally every which way, it's not a problem. Like why is there's like another bike signal here? That's pretty rare to see. But there was the other way was blocked, so here's safe to go. And now we keep on rolling. Let's see. We're gonna go this way, where it is a one-way again, and this is as narrow as it gets, I think, that I've seen so far, and this is already not narrow at all. So another construction detour. So it looks like here they have a signal for bikes to go straight, as well as I have people to follow via Rijbaan, so I presume that means the road. So I guess this detour means that we just enter this 30-kilometer zone, which is something we don't see listed as much in the States, is that we had that signal sign there with the little kid. Usually school zones are 20 miles per hour, which is about that speed, but very rarely, but that's only like a particular time of day and very scoped down. Okay, never mind. This is the most narrow bike infrastructure we've ridden today. As due to the construction, they're splitting this one cycle track into two, and even still, more than enough room. So, yeah. But on the normal, there's two of these, and this one is a different configuration than the one we saw earlier. It's only one car width in the middle. So, yeah, I'm just basically commentating on everything, not really giving any specific insight, but just to add more clarity to what you see here on camera, because it's not always really easy to see as someone's just riding along. But hopefully this just gives you a more of a deeper look and appreciation. And if you're enjoying this video, remember to roll over the like button and subscribe. Those two kids are doing amazing. The back person was pushing her wheel forward to get up that hill. Okay, that's props right there. Okay, we have some car traffic here, and then we'll just keep rolling straight. Hopefully not get run over. Something they do in Europe is park on the sidewalk sometimes, and or not, maybe not sometimes, but to me it's a very strange concept. But I feel like if we did that in the US, we'd run into really big trouble. And but it's a very common thing here because they built their sidewalks so big, and the curbs are really quite low compared to what we have in the States, especially in the suburb area of the States. These curbs can get way higher. Like this is a curb that I'd probably be fine rolling over with my Brompton, but not in the States. So let's just keep going straight here, and yeah, I guess we follow this type of loop until we get back to the city center, and it's nice. I mean, the main thing is that there isn't too much car traffic, so that makes it a little easier to ride, and everything else. So we just keep following this road for a while, the Suburban. Okay, so we're making a left turn coming up. So when I'm in the US, my instinct to make a left here would just be to follow this car road, but sometimes it's not always the case. Like sometimes there's almost always like a bike signal or intersection for you to make turns on. So whenever I see a turn or directed on by some navigation, I'm always looking ahead for some type of signal or crossing instead of what we do what I'm normally used to doing, which is just taking the lane and taking the left turn like a car, which is arguably much safer a lot of the time. But this is nice. We've been surrounded by all this green space here to the left for majority of the time riding this loop, and it doesn't stop. I mean, the number of cyclists isn't as crazy as it was in the middle, but it's been non-stop. We see people riding around here, and it's pretty nice. Alright, that is a very long word. University Squartier. That is an unbelievably long word. Alright, so left turn here. So there's a bike box. But then... okay, I think I see it. I see where I'm supposed to go. I'm trying to make... oh no, I'm just going straight. Okay. I see. So there's a way to go left if you go in the middle. We're just heading straight right now. And back to a lot of people. Okay. Going straight here, we want to make a left. Looks like some bikes are just going to go this way, and we follow them. There's some really interesting traffic signals there for the buses. There's like the two little dots flashing, and then now it turned yellow. And right. And off we go again, following this nice long road. Except now there's a big car parked in the bike lane. Car behind me as well. So nowhere is immune from blocked bike paths, especially if they're just painted. So stopping here because we're making a left turn there. Yeah, I didn't really know what I was supposed to do there because we were making a left turn, but there wasn't like an explicit spot to wait, so I did the weird pedestrian loop around. And now we are pretty close to where we started again, so that's why we see so many cyclists. And then this is sort of I think one of the last different pieces of infrastructure we'll sort of see, which is basically just share road. Like we had that sign there with the bike in front of the car, and yeah, it's just a lot, but we can see the traffic here is like pretty much all bikes. There's like no cars around to really speak of, so that definitely works too. But they do mark the road red, so maybe that does mean that it's like more of a designated bike route than it is a car route. I have no idea, but you can just see the number of people and how it feels to ride here, with this street being probably the most bike parking we've seen the whole day, just on the side here. Very interesting sight. There's our first car, and it's the bikes that are held up basically. Grocery store here to the right, Albert 8AH I like to call it because you see it everywhere. Oh, Korean food. Korean, I don't know why they use a B. Maybe it's like, I don't know. Those Korean sandwiches. And we're just about back to where we started. As we turn right here, we're going to turn back onto Redringberg again. But we can ride all the way back to the station, as that's where I'm headed back to Amsterdam. And then the amount of buses on this main way as well is pretty amazing. So now it's 4:06 and we are approaching sort of traffic, probably approaching rush hour at this point. As we come back here, and we can definitely see the line of cars has, or line of bikes have increased. That is amazing. So let's not stop here because there's definitely too many bikes around me. We'll find a good space to stop, maybe right near the station parking lot again, or bike parking. So we'll go that way. And yeah, this gotta be my favorite crossing here because it's just, you're always surrounded by bikes, but some people sometimes taking out their bikes. Luckily, people I think are trained not to go out of their line, because if that person did that, that would have been a crash on my part. And yeah, people, bikes everywhere, biking every day. Oh, and the wind. This is the peak Dutch experience right now, probably. And just one more crossing and we'll get to where we'll end this ride, right at the station. Oh, that was close. I don't know what that was. Alright, so we are approaching our left here. So I'm going to the left side of the road, starting to signal with my hand so people know what to expect, and we'll get there. And that's the station parking that everyone's going into, but I'm gonna go out here and end our video. Alright, so that's my ride. I guess in the next video I'll also show the sort of the station parking here. It's really cool. But yeah, let me know what you think of that ride. Any thoughts, and I'll see you all in the next video.